Hi, everyone. I'm back again. And today I'm going to be doing the fascinating synastry between Cardi B and Offset. Now I'm going over everything: the divorce, the love, passion, cheating, and the actual name of one of the women that he cheated with shows up in this chart. So I'm going to get started. Her hylinome squares his sun, and hylinome has to do with grief, self-sacrifice, and the inability to let go. And since it's and since it's squaring his sun, this means there's a friction and a tension, and she wants to let go, but it's hard for her to do that because, like I said, hylinome has to do with self-sacrifice and the inability to detach. Now his Pluto conjuncts her Venus and her Pluto. His Pluto conjuncting her Venus, this is in Scorpio. This has to do with love, lust, and passion. And since it's in Scorpio, Pluto is ruled by Scorpio. So there's a very strong power to this. It's like a double shot of espresso. Now her Venus conjuncts her Pluto. And I think that she wants to have control in a marriage, a committed relationship, because her Pluto and Venus are in her seventh house that rules committed relationships. Also, to validate the hylinome asteroid is her Uranus conjuncting his north node. Now, the theme of the relationship for him is on again, off again. I've said before, whatever conjuncts your north node from the other person, this will signify the theme of the relationship, where it's going. Now, Uranus has a very unstable energy. It's erratic, and you never know what to expect. So that explains the on again, off again. Liz Taylor and Richard Burton had this in their synastry chart as well. Now, is this going to be permanent? Well, you never can tell with Uranus. Uranus is full of surprises and unexpected energies. But I also noticed in their synastry, this is very telling. His Lachesis conjuncts her Juno at 1 degree, and Juno has to do with marriage, and Lachesis has to do with death. So this translates into death to the marriage. It's right here in the synastry. Now, if I had done this years ago and I saw this, I don't know if I would tell her, because with her Mercury in Scorpio, I didn't want to get stung like a bee with, all kinds of F-bombs and blow-ups. Really, I mean, Mercury and Scorpio, they can be very stinging and volatile with their speech. Not all of the time, but I looked into her solar return for this year, and I found Apophis conjuncting her Boda, which matches up with the synastry. So I think that this relationship, or I think that the divorce is going to stick this time, because Apophis has to do with destruction, and it's conjuncting her Boda in her solar return that has to do with marriage. And it's also conjuncting her moon, and moon has to do with the female. So she's the one that filed for divorce. Now, her Alma in Juno conjuncts his south node. And to me, that signifies that they were married in a past life and they had karmic issues to work out, because there's Alma there that has to do with a deep connection through marriage in a past life. Now, his Eleutheria conjuncts her south node, and he needs his freedom. And she knows he needs his freedom, and she's okay with it, but it's hard for her. But she let him have his freedom because that's what he wants in this relationship. And he got a lot of freedom, and he's got Mercury and Mars in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius has to do with they like to travel. They play games. They also play games, and he played games with her, and she finally got fed up with it. But the one thing that held them together is his lust, snow, and Medea and Sun conjuncts her North Node. So the theme of the relationship for her, the first one, lust. This is powerful. When you have lust conjuncting your North Node from the other person, the passion will not wane. In most synastry charts, if you stay together for a long time, your hormones calm down, the passion subsides, and you're left with the other person. You're like best friends and you grow old together. But with lust conjuncting North Node, this passion and attraction is really much never ending. And with Pluto conjuncting her Venus, extra power to that. Now, Snow in Medea and his Sun conjuncts her North Node. So this translates into all of these asteroids together. It means lust, cocaine, and revenge. Because Snow has to do with cocaine and Medea has to do with revenge. It also can mean like a love-hate relationship. So when she looks back on this years from now, that's what she's going to remember the most. His Coco and Astrea conjuncts her Venus. Again, powerful because Coco, like I said, has to do with cocaine and it's conjuncting her love planet, but Astrea is there as well, and this has to do with the hanging on to the bitter end. So he's going to hang on to the bitter end. What the bitter end is, the divorce, and they have children together. So this relationship is not going to end completely. It'll end, the marriage will end, but the relationship will not. Now, her Ceres conjuncts his Lilith, and his Poseidon and Bluet conjuncts her Lilith. Lilith has to do with sexuality. So going back to her aspect, her Ceres conjuncting his Lilith, she found him, the sexual intimacy between the two of them, she loved it because Ceres is a love planet. So she loves this passion and lust and the sexual part of between the two of them. But his Poseidon and Bluet conjuncts her Lilith. Poseidon, cheating. And Bluet, he blew it. He blew the relationship between the two of them sexually because of his cheating. Now, yes, they went back to each other and she's pregnant again, but that's due to her Ceres conjuncting his Lilith. She couldn't let go. She couldn't give this up completely. And also, his Harlow asteroid conjuncts her Sun. And here's Winnie Harlow. Wasn't she a dancer or something? But she was one of the women that he cheated with. So right here in the Synastry chart, it's fate. It all comes together. And when she found that out, after a while, it was just too much for her to handle because of the games she claims he played with her, and her Megara conjuncts his Mars. And Megara is the desire to punish. And she was like, she's bringing out all kinds of crazy blow-ups. They had huge arguments because her Pholus conjuncts his Astarte, and that has to do with blow-ups and war. And Mars is there, the war planet. So we've got revenge, blow-ups, punishment. And with her Mercury trining his Zeus, when she found out, explosions. It was Zeus is a major cheating asteroid as well. And Mercury trining his Zeus, yeah, she let him have it big time. Her Mercury and Scorpio, I can't imagine that. I can't even imagine what she said to him or yelled at him. Now, her Mercury conjuncts his Apophis and the Phoenix asteroid. This is really interesting because whenever I see Mercury conjuncting Apophis in a Synastry chart, it's a pretty much guaranteed there's going to be estrangement and there's going to be sudden, no talking. It'll all of a sudden just end. Prince Harry and his father have this aspect, and J-Lo and Ben did too. They got back together, but that didn't last very long, and I think it really has to do with the Mercury conjuncting Apophis. Now, the asteroid Phoenix conjuncting Apophis, this means a death and then a phoenix rising from the ashes. So there, again, there's this back and forth. No, we're not going to talk anymore. Well, we have to talk. But now we're not going to talk. Now I want to file for divorce. It's over. And then it goes back due to the Uranus energies. But again, they also have children. So they're always going to be connected to each other. So estrangement, I don't think, is possible due to the children. Now, in the planetary department, his Venus squares her Saturn, 2 degrees. And this square, lots of tension and friction. And she can be harsh, cold, and critical. It's kind of like, you need to be more responsible, that kind of talk. But like I said before, with her scorpionic tongue, I don't think it would come out quite like that easy. Now, his Neptune squares her Sun, 3 degrees. So Neptune here has the energies of deception, and which is him. So Offset cheated. There was deception involved, and she won't trust him. She's going to be suspicious of him. It's like she's staring into the sun, trying to see Neptune more clearly, but that's not going to work out very well. It's a very difficult aspect. Neptune is just, when you have the squares to your personal planets, there's deception and illusions involved. So she's going to need eclipse glasses if she wants to see him clearly and to know where he's really, coming from. Now, his Neptune and Uranus opposes her Mars in Cancer. And Mars is the war planet, but since it's in Cancer, it could be passive aggressive. But all of a sudden, she's going to blow because we have Uranus opposing her Mars. And like I said, Mars has a very strong, erratic energy. And he pushes, and then it's like a volcano. The volcano is dormant, and all of a sudden it blows, and she just goes off. And it's because of his Neptune opposing her Mars. I mean, there's the sexiness there, but there's also deception. And, she's going to become angry and resentful, and she holds it into the Mars and Cancer placement, like I said, and then all of a sudden blows up, which coincides with her Pholus conjuncting his Astarte. So that's all I have. I wish that I had his birth time. It would have given me a lot more information, but I think this is enough to determine how the relationship is going to play out. So we'll see what happens, but her solar return chart says the marriage is over. Hit the subscribe button if you're interested in hearing about more Synastry charts, and I will be back soon. Have a nice day.